Hi everybody, welcome back to Garden Obsessed. It's been a while, I know. There's a couple of reasons. This is our busy season at work, so my extracurricular energy levels are running pretty low this time of year. I was also sick, and we lost a couple family pets on the same day. A little over a week ago. So that was rough. My stepkids lost their family dog, Kopi. I'll throw a picture up. Speaking of dogs, Lola's fine. And my parents lost their 14-year-old Boston Terrier, Rocky, who, we still had when I lived at home. So I was very close to him. My parents are in their late 60s, early 70s now, and he was their last dog. So that has been rough. And anyone that has pets, you know that this is the worst part of having pets, but they're worth it while they're here. We have lots of great memories, and we'll move on to gardening now. So today is, I think it's the 28th. Nope, it's the 29th. The 29th. Yes, the 29th of May. This is probably the latest that I've ever planted my tomatoes in the last few years at least. Just, because all these other things were going on and gardening takes a back seat. So they're still nice and healthy transplants. I'm going to get them planted out today. I won't be planting any paste tomatoes, you'll notice today. And that's because most of the paste tomatoes that I'm growing, actually there's one paste tomato that I'm growing, but it's an indeterminate. So all of the determinate tomatoes I'm going to be planting at the community garden, which I think I get to go find out where my plot is and things today. So probably next weekend is when I will get most of that planted up. I don't have time to do it through the week. I work over an hour away, so in the opposite direction of the community garden. It's a half hour in the other direction. So there's just not enough time for me to get there through the week for the most part, I think. Maybe I'll be extra anxious to get it planted. I am anxious to get it planted. But we'll see. And I'll try to take some video and photos. Not super comfortable doing this when there's other people around, so it just depends if I have the place to myself or not. But for sure, I'll show you pictures. So today, I have 2 cherry tomatoes that we're going to plant. There are 2 tomato plants already out there, and then there are another 15 plants that are slicing types, all different kinds, that we will be planting as well, for a total of 19 that will be planted here at home. And then I have 8 or 9 plants that I'll be planting at the community garden. So I do have a couple of Scotia tomatoes. They're a small slicing type that are on determinate plants, and also all of my San Marzanos and Romas will be going to the community garden. So let's go plant some tomatoes. Okay, so I've got my plant here. I have removed the lower leaves so that I can plant it deeply, which will help promote more roots along the stem. I've got my hole dug as deep as I can go, and I've got my all-purpose organic fertilizer. I'm just going to take a pinch, put it in the hole and over my little pile of soil here that I'm going to use to backfill my plant with. So I'm just taking a look at the roots here. They look good. I'm going to set my plant down in the hole, and I'm going to make sure I backfill the soil all around it and pack it in nice and tight around those roots so I don't have any air pockets. I think I've shown in videos before that I like to use these twisted poles as support for my tomatoes. I will single stem them all summer, so that just means I'll be removing the suckers. These are all indeterminate tomatoes. So if the plants are large enough to start wrapping them around. Now, as I'm planting them, I will go ahead and do that. Get the rest of these planted up. So I'll just go through and show you what we've got. We've got an Abe Lincoln, a German Johnson, a Paul Robeson, Kellogg's Breakfast, it's hard to see, a Giant Crimson, a Triple L Crop, a Katie's Oxheart, Bonnie Best, Dr. Weish's, move around the side here, a pink Berkeley tie-dye. This is another pink Berkeley tie-dye, another Triple L Crop, another Giant Crimson, a Kellogg's Breakfast, and this is another Paul Robeson. So that is everybody in this bed. These are 2 Giant Crimson that I planted about a week and a half ago, and we did have a frost after I planted them, in which I completely forgot. You can see this one, it's kind of protected by those other shrubs and was left untouched, while the first one here definitely had some damage. Just goes to show what microclimates are capable of. So I only planted 2 cherry tomatoes this year, my favorite and Jarrett's favorite. You can see the other tomatoes or the other stakes over there. So these are kind of at the back of the garden. I've got Sun Sugar, that's my favorite, and Tasty Treat, which is Jarrett's favorite. I've got large tomato cages. These are heavy duty, they're about 3 feet tall, as well as a stake. These I won't keep single stemmed, so we may have to get creative later on in the season with support.